name is Stormie Calder. I am a psychic medium, a shaman, an Akashic Records coach, a high performance coach, life and business coaching. And in today's video, I'm going to take you guys through an energy update for the week. I'm happy to be live streaming. Okay. What else do I want to say? Hello. It's been a crazy month already. We're excited to go into March. Hopefully I'll get an update for that shortly. Yes, all of the things. Okay. I shot a meditation video a couple days ago and then it automatically was missing sound. Anyway, I will reshoot it. I'm just giving you guys all the like nitty gritty updates right now. But through March 1st, I extended it. You can get 65% off of my meditation programs. I will leave a link in the description below for you guys, as well as the promo code. It's Meditation Mastery. I have 3 programs. The first is the Joyride, which is a 30-day. It creates a habit for you. 30 days of meditations and 30 reflection tracks, just like reflection books that you would get, where I actually give you a reflection for the day to keep your mind focused mentally, your emotional space cleared and healed from the meditations that are all really, really easy because they are short. They are for those of us with short attention spans, between 5 and 15 minutes is most of them. They're really, really fun. I've gotten a metric F ton of positive feedback from them that it actually does. It is an energy medicine and keeps you in a high vibrational mood for the day and through 30 days because it takes 30 days to set a habit and create a habit of meditation and of positive thinking. So that is one of the albums. Another album is the Akashic Records Guided Meditations. It's 7 meditations to help you tap into, tune into, and intuit your own Akashic Records with a past life regression, a soul retrieval, soul origin meditation, I believe, like really awesome meditations. Also, I have the I Am Success guided meditation albums, which are all wealth focused, tuning into the energy of success, of showing up as a winner energetically. Working on your heart space, tuning into your body, conditioning all of your energy to attract in success magnetically. Those are my 3 albums. Go pick and choose or get them all. They are all 65% off right now with the code Meditation Mastery. Okay, let's get into our weekly themes. Spirit, tune in with me now. What do we most need to know this week? On the high. Give me the high for the week. The high for the week is union. So this is what we can look forward to. This is what we are accepting, elevating, attracting. What does this card mean? All right, so let's look into it. Union is the sacred union of the self. So it's merging your own inner masculine and feminine, your assertive side and your passive sides, your soft side, your I'm gonna go get it done side. It's attraction and what do we call it? Magnetism and doing. What is that? The electric side of things. Thank you, my loves. Thank you for the gifts as well. We're tapping into understanding our own polarities on the high. So here's what you can expect this week, okay? And then I'll read through the different dynamics, but you can expect that spirit is going to show you very, very clearly that you are a dualistic being. You can expect that your shadows are going to be right up at the surface, okay? All the shit you hate about yourself is going to be right up at the surface. It's going to be very clear and very obvious. You're going to be stumbling over yourself likely. As always, only take what resonates, leave the rest. Take what feels right for your own intuitive experience. But there's a real dualistic nature to the week ending this month. And it's understanding that you're going to be you're facing off your shadow. Okay. For those of you that are really scared of shadow work, I would encourage you not to be scared of it and just to face off your shadow. Your shadow is a part of you. It's a part of you that carries all of your power. Honestly, it carries a lot more power than the light. It's the part of you that fights for what's right. It's the part of you that argues. It's the part of you that's a big pain in the ass. It's a part of you that self-sabotages. It's the part of you that is highly sexual. It's the part of you that carries your power. So how comfortable are you with your own power? And how comfortable are you staring back at it? Whether for good or for not. Whatever it's gonna be, it's gonna be. How comfortable are you staring back at that reflection of yourself in the mirror of how powerful you are or how powerful others are around you? That might intimidate or thwart your own power. Are you telling me this is gonna be a conflict week? No. My guides are saying, we're telling you to stop giving up the trail of negativity. Oh, displacing those shadow components on other people, blaming other people for your problems. Blaming other people for your missed opportunities, blaming other people for making you feel bad, blaming other people for you not making enough money. You know, they're telling me that could even be your parents or what have you. Like, quit the shit. Like, you all are just running around blaming everyone for your problems. That is very, very standard, typical shadow and human behavior in general. Just take this as the call out. Stop blaming people for your problems. Whatever you see in your environment that you don't like is an outward expression of your own shadow. It might not be a direct representation of you, but they are the parts of you that you have denied and cast outside of yourself. So when you see them in the mirror, in this union for the week, when you see these parts of you, whether or not they're coming through other people or just you're noticing parts of yourself, can you guys give me a little clarity? Like, how do we want to resolve that or marry it, integrate it? Okay, it's really simple. All right, just like look at these parts of yourself and just say, I love you. I love you being like that. I love you being a pain in the ass. Like, I love what. Are you telling me to give that example? I love when you can be tricky. Like, my shadow's very tricky. She's very smart. So I have to be on top of my like trickster energy. My foxy energy. You guys will know for you, like it depends on how your shadow works. I know a lot of, the more intelligent of people tend to be tricksters in the background, and that's what they're working through in their shadow. Other people, it could be an overdevelopment of empathy. My guides brought this through a string of events of my channeling last week. Was like, there is a point where empathy becomes a problem, where love is overused and it becomes truly a weakness. And it's because, how do you guys want me to, this is a very complex topic that I want to sum up in a couple minutes. Empathy is often misused. It depends on what side of the pendulum swing you're on. If you are typically much more empathetic, and that's how you navigate your world, it would be good to acknowledge when you are sacrificing your personal needs for the needs of other people. Empathy is not always a gift. Sometimes it is a curse. That is part of this duality. There's a real, I guess here, I'm going to give the culmination based on what my guides are sending through. It's a frequency that I'm downloading in. The focus is on duality this week. The focus is on, don't expect everything to be shiny without imperfections. The imperfections are going to be glaring at you as you enter the new cycle, as you enter the portal into March. Because you need to learn how to marry them. You need to learn how to integrate them. You need to learn how to see the parts of you that that either you don't like or didn't know to see that were in your blind spots, and just say like, oh, I see you. Hey, you're a part of me. Okay, let me see if I can find a job for you. Let me see if I can find a job for you. All parts are welcome at the table. All parts should be loved. And you said this was the high. My guides always take me on these. It was almost like a trick. That's the week. Okay, how many ways can you spin things into your favor? How many times this week can you encounter something that feels like, I don't know, like a loss, or just and a loss meaning not anything big per se. It's just like a thought that doesn't feel right, or maybe your day just feels off, or maybe an interaction didn't go as well as you thought it was going to go. Or like, how can you embrace those aspects of self anyway? Hi, you guys. I'm not gonna lie, I haven't done a live in a minute, and I have like a love hate with it. I get really distracted and it like shuts my channel around. Like, I feel like I'm being shuffled because I have people in the room. But I wanted to try it today. So she's here, trying it, doing it. All right. Peanut Gallery Guides, is there anything else you want to say? I'm riding the high of union. Marry your own mastery. Let go of any self-doubt. And like catch your shadow. It's like there's a degree of like, I mean, obviously you guys like know Peter Pan. Like, you have a shadow. All right, you have a shadow, and your shadow is very mischievous, okay? Catch the shadow. Look for it. It's dodging behind the scenes. The thing about the shadow is it has to be in the shadows. It's not conscious. It's not in front of you. But if you look in the periphery, maybe do this in a meditation. If you look in the periphery of your experience, you'll catch glimpses of the shadow. It is often mischievous. They're showing it as a very mischievous, playful expression, but it causes a lot of damage if you're not like really on top of your shadow, if you don't understand how your shadow acts and interacts. Your shadow can displace itself into other people, and it'll make it look like everybody's out to attack you, but it's actually just your shadow, like, doing what shadows do. But keep in mind, your shadow is also your raw power. So without it, you are powerless. That's the trick in spirituality that people don't realize. I know a lot of people do shadow work, but I think the shadow is severely underestimated. The shadow is the storehouse of your power. There is a certain amount of power in the light, obviously, in light traits, in harnessing light. But without the power, it's really, this game is not all love and light. The duality is everything. It's not all love and light. You can like love and light all day, be over empathetic and be completely trampled and end up in a mental institution because you had spiritual psychosis because nobody was respecting you. Part of the shadow is there to create the grounding and the context to your light, which is to throw down. It is to set boundaries. Actively. You can still set boundaries in a very, very sweet way, and I feel like I'm a really great example of that. Also, you know, situations, how you approach situations depends on what's needed for that situation. Like, my expression shifts and changes depending on what I'm coming up against. The people that are the most manipulative and the most aggressive with me, I'm the most aggressive with my boundaries. Like, literally. Verbally, I just lay down the law and I don't hold anything back. The sweeter people are, the sweeter I am. I mirror people very, very actively and regularly. That's also my job. like as a coach, as a spiritual practitioner or consciousness expert, it's my job to mirror everyone. My energy is designed to mirror all of the people around me so that they can become conscious about who they are, right? What's funny is a lot of people don't like who they are. They don't like their light traits, or they don't like their dark traits. Regardless, they'll like skip around themselves and try to hide from themselves because they don't actually like themselves. And it's interesting because you could just sit down. You'll know if this resonates with you. You could just sit down and meditate with the self frequently and design a curriculum of being, of acting, like literally acting in the world, until you come into a place of rest with your authenticity, and be okay with it. Become okay with it. Most of you hate your own company. You'll know because if I tell you to take 8 hours by yourself and do absolutely nothing, or take yourself on a date or whatever, like, how much are you going to push back on that? Are you going to enjoy your own company, or are you going to try to race and call someone or try to hang out with someone? I know countless people that just replace their own time with a million other people, whether it's clients, whether it's friendships that are all like really codependent, or calling people constantly. And I'm like, can you just sit with yourself? Can you be with yourself? Or the amount of people that I hear that won't date themselves, like I have to have somebody else to go out to dinner with. And I'm like, I go out to fancy dinner by myself. And you know, I did last week, and I could tell because I'm psychic, this group of younger, I would love to call them men, but they weren't, boys, like maybe teens, late, I don't know, early 20s. We're sitting at a table next to me, and I can feel them judging me. And I was like, you're just jealous that you can't do this. Like, there's an Italian family on the left of me, like actually from Italy, and I was interacting with them a little bit. And I realized it really is an anomaly to sit with yourself, to be with yourself, to love yourself, and to be in your own company without judgment and without seeking approval from anyone. It didn't take very long for like people to start accommodating me, is what I'll say, because I hold my energy very well. And because it's like, I don't know, I think a lot of you need to take yourselves out to dinner and sit with yourself, a fancy dinner, okay? And just go like, what do I not like about me, and why do I think this is weird? I don't, which is why I'm saying this to you. I can feel the judgments of other people when they press on my energy field. And I was like, wow, this is so weird. Why do you all hate yourselves so much? And it's because you don't understand your own personal inner union. You have a shadow. That shadow is like, you have to wait for other people to come play with you. You have to people please others in order to give yourself permission to just be with yourself. You don't have to wait for anything to enjoy yourself now. You can just enjoy yourself now. And part of that experience, I feel like a lot of you dodge around enjoying your own company by not prioritizing your company. So I'll probably talk about this endlessly for years, but I self-date. So I prioritize my own company and I date myself. I bring myself out. I do things that are just for me. I dress up just for me. I take myself out and I allow myself to feel myself as a priority. And I allow people to accommodate me in these environments so that I condition my subconscious to see myself as a priority. Because if you don't see yourself as your own priority, especially for empaths, you'll overgive, especially for women, you'll overgive everything to everyone else. And your needs are never met. Okay, let me tune in here. This is a windy stream. The path of least resistance is not logical or linear. It is not point A to point B. The path of least resistance is often appears as the path of most resistance. It's the path where you have the most fear. That's the shadow. Your shadow is the part of you that creates resistance. What we are impeccable at as humans is avoiding resistance. So what we do is we feel that there might be a problem, or we feel that there might be pain. We are great pain avoidant people, humans everywhere. It's why we all self-medicate, why there are so many addiction problems, and why drugs are real. Everybody in video games, all the things, overeating, like everybody's looking to escape their reality. What are you escaping? You're escaping the pain of what is resistance. Okay, well, what's the resistance? Why don't you go fucking look at it? The moment we start to turn our attention into what we are resisting, what you resist persists. It doesn't go away. It builds momentum. That resistance is where all of your profit strategy is. Figuratively, energetically, and literally. What you are resisting are the aspects of self that carry the most amount of concentrated power. What's power? It's your passion. It's your ability to tap into the momentum of the universe, of the quantum of everything around you, and actually get your needs met. Actually do what you need to do. Actually attract what you want to attract. In coordinates with the laws. They're telling me, they're taking me on another track here, so we're going to take it here. There are a lot of you that are doing like magical manifestation work, right? That I would anticipate there would be a lot of you doing this. But here's the deal. When you're manifesting, you're working your magical abilities. And a lot of you were like, this isn't manifesting the right way. This person didn't act the way that I wanted to act, or they didn't pay me the right way, or they didn't do this and this and this. May I remind you that, hello, you are not the only human on this planet. And the people around you have their free will as well. And if you continually try to override the free will of the people around you and then complain that you're not manifesting good enough, like, I don't know how to, I'm going to find a way to congeal my thoughts coming up on this, because I think the collective shadow has just taken on a manifesty attitude. I think most people now are just like, I'm manifesting. And it's like a new way of, it's a new way of A, people pleasing, B, narcissism, and C, trying to override other people's free will. I can't tell you the number of occasions where my guides have brought my attention to people. They're like, hey, this person's trying to override your power again. They're like manifesting you, or they're manifesting that you do this way. And I'm like, well, that's nice. That's not in my character. So they're flawed. We're going to be attending to my character because I'm not moldable to your fucking reality. Some of you need to start thinking this way too. The people around you, like, how do I want to say this? When we get into manifestation territory, I'm not telling you not to manifest. Obviously, you're going to manifest. I'm just saying that it's getting toxic out in these streets. That's what I'm saying. Those of you that follow my vibe and that work with me, I'm taking you out of that equation because you're modeling behaviors off of me and how I work. But the vast majority of this larger community, I'll say, like, I don't know what else to call it, like these larger metaphysical communities are manifesting as a backhanded way of overcompensating for the lack of communication in the real world, the lack of their own ability to make concrete change based in adversity, based in like, this universe is not going to fucking deliver everything to you on a silver platter. Can you deal with that? Or do you have a child running the show in your consciousness? There are a lot of child consciousnesses, because it's a child in the shadow, that are running with high levels of spiritual engagement, spiritual speak. They speak the speak. They just don't walk their walk. And I don't know how other people are going to be able to point this stuff out, because you would have to be pretty psychically attuned with your own power and understand your own shadow in order to know when someone's confronting your shadow. But I can't tell you how many people close to me have tried subconsciously, and this is happening to you guys too. I'm just noticing it with my relationships and pointing it out to give you something to think about. They have tried to force a result subconsciously, by rehearsing it in their heads, by projecting. It's done through projection. Mental projection is a sort of magic. By projecting them seeing the outcome as done at me or towards me, and then being like, she's gonna act this way. And then I show up and I don't act that way, and they go, what the fuck is going on? Like, either they think to themselves, like, either I'm a bad manifester or I can't control her. And it's like, right, you can't control her. I have my own thoughts, ideas, and opinions. This is for all of you. Like, you have a way of being and a way of expressing yourself in the world. That the sort of manifestation where people are looking to make things happen around other people, at other people, it's people focused. It's relationship focused, but not in a positive way. They're looking for everything around them to be moldable clay, as if they can mold the people around them. And that only works when you are significantly outpowering the people around you, or when the people around you don't have enough tact or discipline in their own character to know who they are. Anyone who knows who they are is not going to be moldable. And the truth of reality is that reality is not always moldable for you. How are you going to fucking deal with that? I feel like I've been trepsing around the concepts of childish ascension work and mature ascension work. And I mean, most people, even in ascension work, are very, very childish. And the second something doesn't go their way, whether it's with spirit or their guardians or whether it's with other humans, they throw a shit fit. They throw a temper tantrum, and then they go into this pain avoidance cycle where they don't quite acknowledge the shadow, but they say, that hurts, that's filled with resistance, I'll look the other way. And then they go do a million actions in the other way because they want to prove that they never needed to look at that resistance. They never needed to embody that. It's really, really immature, and it's very, very, very common. I'd like to impart some wisdom, Spirit, if you want to give it to me. Like, the maturity is where all of the growth is. It's the least sexy aspect of spiritual development for me to say to you, like, are you trying to punch people into place again? Is that what you're all trying to do? You're trying to mold people into perfection of how you think that they should behave and act around you? You think that's healthy? Oh, you thought it was spiritual. Oh, you said God was doing it. Okay. The mature aspect says, I accept conditions as they are. Now, how am I going to change based in this reality? How am I going to take control over myself and over my circumstances to make things happen, to allow things to work in a new way, to step into a new paradigm? What I find the most about people, pretty much everyone, is that when they're encountered with difficulty, when they're encountered with challenge, when they're encountered with a roadblock, either financially, with their relationships, with their work, with their life purpose, they get angry, they throw temper tantrums, they give up, and they say, this wasn't meant for me. And then they expect God to come pick them up and clean them up. You're not a baby. Stop acting like a baby. If you're watching my channel, you are a fully grown adult. So now's the time to start adulting. The mature way of handling circumstances when they don't look like what you want is to show up differently. It is to approach the obstacle in a different way. It is to accept the reality that you are not always going to get what you want. It is to accept the reality that duality. Oh, wow. Okay, hold on. We'll get to that. A new card just came out. I was looking for the duality card, but it's to accept the reality that duality is constantly real and in your face, and we don't live in a perfect world. We live in a dualistic, polarized world. And if you really want to create change in your life, you really want to tap into your highest potential, you really want to live your dream lifestyle, then you have to start looking at your life from the position of complete acceptance for what it is, the dark and the light, and then navigate based on that. Don't try to force people into place. Don't try to make people act any differently around you. Good luck. You're not God. Even God can't do it. If that's not the truth. People will act not in their own best interest all the fucking time. Even God can't make someone act in their own best interest. Like, the mature route, okay? I don't know. Well, maybe I'll break this down in future videos. It's like, do the work. It's not going to be easy. Should it feel easy? It can, and it does often when you break through. But when we're creating these new habits, these new patterns, it's really easy to start something. It's easy to get startup energy. It's hard to complete something. It's hard to put in the daily effort of actually getting it done. As a basic example, like some people could be like, I just want to be really lean and lose a lot of weight and look really beautiful, but they're not willing to put in the daily effort for maintenance. Or they're like, I'll go on a diet. I don't think this way, but I don't know. You guys can let me know if the collective is still thinking this way. I just remember in the 90s, everybody was like, oh my God, fat-free or Atkins or like whatever. It was like you go on a diet and then you go back to your regular terrible eating habits like 2 months later. It's like, do you think that's going to work long term? It's like you have to accept the circumstances. You have to accept the conditions. There are certain foods that are good for you. There's certain foods that are not. There are certain foods that have you hold weight more. Food comes with chi, like regardless. I'm gonna sidestep some of this because I don't want to go into like a course on teaching weight management, but it's using that as an example. It's being able to look at any area of your life and saying, what is the maintenance pattern here? What do I need to incorporate in my life? What is the resistance that I've been avoiding that probably I'm not going to like, but that lifestyle that I want includes this sort of maintenance. And whatever lifestyle you want is a higher maintenance lifestyle than where you are now. Most people push up against that and they want that lifestyle. They want the new lifestyle. They want their higher potential, but they want to stay the same. They don't want to put in the same amount of, they don't want to put in more work than they're putting in now. They want to put in the same amount of work that they're putting in now and still get that future lifestyle. Good fucking luck. It will not happen for you. If you want that future lifestyle, you're going to have to change. You're going to have to embrace change. You're going to have to get over the childish habits and behaviors that would keep you stuck in a pattern of thinking that everything has to feel good. It doesn't. And I can tell you that when it feels good, it's a high vibration, but you're always falling to, there's so many aspects of this conversation. Settle in, Stormie. Very good. It's like, yes, overall things should feel good, but they might not feel good in the moment. For example, when you're working out in the moment, I don't know that it feels good feeling your muscles tearing. You know what I mean? Or for me, swimming, I've got like a little injury in my foot that I've had for a while now, and it doesn't always feel great that I have to accommodate an injury for swimming or for running anymore. It actually really pisses me off. It's like, that's the discomfort. And it's like, well, am I going to stop these activities? It's like, no, I have to become a new version of myself that is adulted, that is mature, that looks at my circumstances and says, well, you want this lifestyle, you want to feel this good in your body, you like these activities, but there is a certain injury that comes from it. So now we have to accommodate the injury, right? Now I have to do the unsexy things of doing additional stretching and having to do a lot of self-care on my foot. And like, it's just collectively, people think that they can just chase what feels good and get the next lifestyle. You can to a point. It's starting energy. You want to feel good overall, for sure. But along the path, there's always going to be a daily ritual, a daily routine, a daily practice, a daily way of thinking, handling relationships, setting boundaries that is not going to be fun. You are not going to like it. There is going to be a lot of resistance around it, and you have to do it anyway. Go do hard stuff. Depending on what day you guys catch me, you'll get a very different part of this conversation. Because for many years, I did practice that staying in the high, and I do believe in it. The doing the things that only excite you, and I do believe in that. But if you're not also willing to do the hard stuff, to step into the resistance, to do everything that you don't want to do and get it done, good luck. You know how Abraham Hicks and so many spiritual practitioners and stuff are like, just do the easy stuff. Like, life can be easy. And of course it can. It depends on how you approach your life, though. And it's like, just chase the highs and do only what feels good. Do you know why they say that? Because they're trying to get you in the fucking game. You know, and then once you get in the game, things get hard. And you have to learn. This is where the eustress comes from. So there's two types of stress. There's the stress that causes damage, and there's just the stress that causes growth. The eustress, the growth, comes from the stress of realizing that something doesn't feel good and it has to get done anyway. Like, you have to prioritize it in order to have the life that you dream, in order to have the life that you desire. And that creates the good feeling. You have to move through it. The obstacle is the way. Chronic avoiding of obstacles creates chronic pain delayed. That chronic pain delayed is executed through a shadow strategy that goes out of its way to push you away from pain so that you never change. Because if you were to change, your shadow can no longer have authoritative control behind the scenes. Your shadow would have to integrate. The shadow is the darkness within you. It's the unconscious. And the shadow would love nothing more than to be unintegrated and run behind the scenes without any of your light energy, because then it's just doing shit. It has full reign. The devil on steroids, just like enjoying its shadowy life without the accountability of your light. Looking at it and saying, what are you doing? What are you doing over there? In order to have that shadow integration, you have to step into the points of the most resistance and allow them to soften in front of you as you approach the obstacle. Allow them to work through as you approach the obstacle. Pain avoidance, mentally, emotionally, is not a great strategy. It's like, they're obviously, you guys have to be able to juggle the different types of pain. There's the pain for the sake of pain. Don't do any of that. That's your shadow for sure. And then there's pain that yields growth, which is like the eustress. It's the stress that creates growth. Okay, the other card that like fell out of here before was the cut ties. So cut ties to your enemies. I'm just spinning through these comments. I think in the future, I'm just going to shut them off. This is so interesting. I can't. This is why I don't live stream anymore. All right. Cut ties to your enemies. Anyone that's an enemy, chop, chop. Do a cord cutting ceremony, ritual, whatever you need for yourself. Spirit, is there anything else you want to say around cutting ties? Cutting ties to your lies. Cut ties to your lies. This is a shadow integration stream. However, you are lying to yourself, especially to others. If you're lying to others, that's like a very clear indication of what needs to be chopped, what you need to integrate within yourself. But lying to the self are the aspects that are harder to nail down and that you need to. Like, how are you lying to yourself? Are you lying to yourself that it's too late in your life to change careers, perhaps, for someone? It's too late in life to start your own business. It's too late in life to get married. It's too late in life to leave a marriage. It's too late in life to have kids. It's too late in life to, like, whatever it is. What is it too late in life for you? It's not too late. When it comes down to time, when we're manifesting more time, we're manifesting more energy from the quantum. What you really need is energy. What you really need is power and thrust in order to break through the resistance. Here's how I'm going to explain this, and then I think I'm going to pop off stream. Resistance. A lot of people avoid resistance. Oh my gosh, it's resistance. It's hard. I don't want to feel like things are hard. Okay. How many of you have been in an airplane? There is a certain amount of, there are 4 forces that keep an airplane up in the air, okay? One of them is weight, the weight of the plane. There is drag, thrust, and lift. The drag is the resistance. Without drag, a plane cannot get up in the air. Cannot. Without weight, heaviness, a plane cannot get up in the air. Those 4 forces have to be there no matter what. Without thrust, what's thrust? It's your fucking horsepower. You actually have to be able to generate enough power, and this generally comes from the shadow, in order to push through the air. Now, is an airplane complaining or is it just gliding through the air? Like, sure. But the pilot has to understand all of these forces to a level of expertise in order to launch an aircraft, to get up the runway, and to understand how to fly consistently. These are your behavioral patterns. If you're avoiding resistance, you're avoiding the wind resistance from everything around you or your thoughts. You're avoiding resistance. You're avoiding flight. If you're avoiding your power, you're avoiding flight. So many of you are sitting on the ground in your little aircrafts, metaphorically speaking, and you're like, I want to learn how to fly. I want my best life. I want to step into my highest potential. And then you're like, wait, what? I have to put the throttle in? Like I have to put the gas in? Like I have to create power in order to have momentum? And that power is not all light power. If we look at gas, in whether it's in an automobile or a plane, like there's combustion, okay? There's heat, there's fire, it's combustion, it's burning. A lot of you are afraid of your power because your power works in a very similar way. There's a combustion of that power. So when you encounter that combustion in yourself, a lot of you freak out, or a lot of you overuse it and then harm other people around you. A lot of you don't take power because you don't know what it is to hold it, because you're afraid of the combustion. And you think it's dirty, or you think it's darkness, or you think it's the devil. It's like, no, sweetheart, that's your energy, and you need it. If you want to fly, you want to step into your highest potential, you need to get very comfortable with your own combustion and have it controlled in an engine, if you will. And then through the spiritual awakening journey, in this metaphor, it's like a lot of people are on the runway and they're like, okay, I've put a little bit of gas in. I've got a little bit of belief. I'm ready to change my life. And they're taxiing. And then to actually get off the runway, you need a certain amount of power. You need a certain amount of pitch, of angle, of direction, which is your intention. And you have to be willing to cut through resistance. And then you get to fly. Flying is also not a set it and forget it process. Anyone who has done any level of pilotry, like, you're on top of it. Okay? There's no set it and forget it. I think that's what you guys need to hear. You want to live your best life? You're not going to live your best life with the current habits that you have now. You do have to change. You have to change a lot, in fact, to get there. There's a lot of resistance. There's a lot of shitty things you're going to have to figure out, like, that don't feel good in order to get there. Are you going to be comfortable doing that? Can you figure it out? Can you use your mature mind and your mature heart and find your way there, even though it's not going to be as easy as you thought it was, or disasters show up along the way, or hazards, or what? Like, it's going to happen. Whatever can happen will happen. It's like you can rely on weird shit happening. But how are you going to navigate that? Are you going to handle it maturely? Or are you going to handle it childishly and then try to land your plane? But actually, a lot of you are just crashing, and then you never get up again. Because you're like, well, this one time that I did this and I started this business, it didn't work. I chased my dreams this one time and it didn't work, so it's never going to work for me again. You crashed your plane. When you are up in the air, in this metaphor, when you are in your highest potential, You are constantly learning how to fly. You are constantly perfecting your craft. You are constantly navigating, learning how to navigate, learning how to be more mature and be also equally as playful, but not from a place of immaturity. 4-4, 4-4 on my timer. I think that's where I'm going to end this stream. If you guys love this, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, comment, let me know what resonated. This was a very casual stream. I hope it made sense for you, but I'm sending you all of the love. And if you guys want to jump into my meditation programs, I have 3 through March 1st that are 65% off. You can use the promo code Meditation Mastery at checkout. Also, I have a couple of spots open for one-on-one mentorship in my Quantum Identity Breakthrough Program, which is all about stepping into your highest potential and anchoring and understanding and working with the new identity of the new version of yourself that you're going to have to become. And I help guide you through those changes to becoming that sort of person. If you're interested in that, you can send me an email at wearewokeaf@gmail.com, and that email is in the description link below. Stephanie. Oh, that's so good. So good. I gotta start teaching flying so I can really like lock it in for myself. Alrighty, you guys. Enjoy your day, enjoy your week. I will see you soon. And thanks for joining me. Bye.